Happy Halloween, everyone! Instead of ghost stories, let's dive into something a bit more down to earth. We're talking landfills. Specifically, how to ace that interview for a landfill supervisor role.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Mountains of trash, that distinct
Yeah.
landfill aroma. But this job is so much more than that. Landfill supervisors are on the front lines of environmental protection, ensuring waste is managed safely and efficiently.
Right. It's crucial work, and we're here to make sure you shine in that interview. We'll be using RoleCatcher's amazing AI-powered tools and resources throughout this deep dive. So imagine yourself walking into that interview room. What's the first question they might throw your way?
It's almost always a variation of why are you interested in this role? It seems simple, but it's how interviewers gauge your genuine interest and passion.
So how do we avoid falling into the trap of giving a generic, uninspired answer?
Think about what truly sparked your interest. Was it a documentary that highlighted the environmental impact of landfills? Maybe you're fascinated by the logistics of managing such a complex operation. RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze the job description and suggest ways to tailor your response to the specific keywords and requirements they're looking for.
That's incredible. So it's not just about what you say. It's about making sure your answer aligns with what they're looking for. Okay, let's say you've nailed that first question. What comes next?
They'll likely want to dive into your experience. A common question is, describe your experience working in a landfill or waste management facility. This is your time to shine.
So it's not enough to just say, I worked at a landfill. What kind of details should we be prepared to share?
Think about tangible examples that showcase your skills and accomplishments. Did you implement a new safety protocol that reduced accidents? Maybe you streamlined a process that improved efficiency. Be specific.
What if you're new to the field? I remember RoleCatcher's Career Guide had some helpful tips for this.
Exactly. You can leverage transferable skills from previous roles. Think research, compliance, staff training. Those are all valuable in a landfill environment. And with RoleCatcher's AI, you can find real examples from the Career Guide to add weight to your answer, making it more relevant to the specific landfill supervisor role you're applying for.
All right, so we've talked about passion and experience. What about those core qualities that make a great landfill supervisor?
That's usually the next question. What do you consider the most important qualities for this role? This is where you demonstrate you understand the core competencies.
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide can really help us prepare for this one.
Right, absolutely. The guide lists qualities like leadership, communication, problem solving, technical skills, but don't just list them. Explain why they're essential, for example, you could say. Leadership is crucial because a landfill supervisor needs to motivate their team to maintain safety and efficiency, and back it up with a concrete example.
I love that. It's not just about knowing the buzzwords. It's about showing you truly understand what those words mean in this context. Now, this next one might feel a bit intimidating.
You're probably thinking about how do you ensure compliance with environmental regulations?
That's the one. This is where things get technical.
Right. It does delve into a specific area of expertise. But remember, the career guide outlines key functions like researching legislation, implementing policies, conducting inspections. Weave those into your response to showcase your knowledge.
And here's where RoleCatcher's AI gets really impressive. It can tailor your answer to the specific environmental regulations mentioned in the job description. So if they emphasize hazardous waste disposal, you can highlight your experience in that area.
Precisely. It's like having a personal research assistant helping you craft the perfect answer. Okay, ready for a curveball. Interviewers love to throw in behavioral questions, something like, describe a time you had to address a safety issue in a landfill facility.
Ooh, those can be tricky. How do we approach these kinds of questions?
The STAR method is your best friend. Situation, task, action, result. Describe the situation, your responsibility, the action you took, and the outcome. Make sure the example you choose showcases problem solving, communication, and leadership skills.
And I remember RoleCatcher's interview guide had some great tips on how to structure those answers effectively.
Okay,
We've covered 5 pretty intense questions.
we're just getting started. There's so much more ground to cover.
Well, then let's take a deep breath and jump right back in.
All right, let's tackle the next question, which dives into your leadership skills. How do you manage and motivate your team? It's a classic for any leadership position.
Okay. So what are the interviewers really looking for with this question? Is it just about listing off management buzzwords?
It's more about demonstrating your understanding of how to create a positive and productive work environment. Think about specific examples, where you motivated team members, delegated tasks effectively, or resolved conflicts. Remember those leadership skills we discussed from the RoleCatcher Career Guide? Here's where you bring those to life.
So, instead of saying, I'm a great communicator, I could talk about a time I had to communicate a complex new safety regulation to my team and how I ensured everyone understood and followed it.
Exactly. Or perhaps you implemented a new training program that boosted team morale and productivity. Those are the kind of concrete examples that will impress interviewers.
And what about this one? How do you ensure that landfill operations are cost-effective? This feels a bit intimidating, especially if you don't have a finance background.
Don't worry, you don't need to be a financial wizard. It's about demonstrating your understanding of resource management. RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually has a whole section on budgeting and cost optimization for landfill supervisors.
That's right. I remember it mentioned things like optimizing waste disposal processes, negotiating with vendors, and implementing preventive maintenance programs for equipment.
Right. And you can take it a step further by mentioning strategies for reducing waste, improving recycling rates, and exploring alternative revenue streams. Think about landfill gas extraction that turns a liability into an asset.
Okay, that makes sense. It's about showing you're proactive and thinking beyond just the day-to-day operations. Now, this next question feels like it could be a real minefield. Can you describe a time when you had to resolve a conflict within your team?
Yes. The dreaded conflict resolution question. It's a behavioral question. So the STAR method is key here. Remember, choose an example that highlights your communication and mediation skills and your ability to stay calm under pressure.
It's all about showing you can create a positive and respectful work environment, even when things get tough. And the last question on our list is all about staying current in the field. How do you stay informed about the latest developments in landfill management?
We've touched on this throughout our deep dive, but it's always good to reiterate your commitment to continuous learning. Mention specific industry publications you read, conferences you attend, or organizations you belong to.
And don't forget about online resources like webinars, podcasts, and industry blogs.
Oh.
Hey. And of course, highlight that you're using RoleCatcher to stay ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Using a platform like RoleCatcher demonstrates you're proactive about your career development and committed to staying informed about the latest trends and best practices. Now, beyond those specific interview questions, it's important to have a broader understanding of the landfill supervisor role and potential career paths.
And luckily, RoleCatcher's Career Guide provides some great insights into that as well. It outlines the typical responsibilities and provides example profiles for entry-level junior
and senior landfill supervisor roles.
Exactly. So you can see how the role evolves and the skills you'll need to progress in your career. It also highlights the importance of continuous learning, even beyond those initial certifications.
Speaking of certifications, the guide mentions the SWANA Landfill Operations Basic Certification, which is a great starting point. It also talks about the Certified Landfill Manager, CLM, and the Certified Environmental and Safety Compliance Officer, CSGO, which are more advanced credentials. Those are valuable assets that demonstrate your expertise and dedication to the field. And what's really cool about RoleCatcher is that its AI can even suggest specific certifications that might be beneficial, based on your current skills and the types of roles you're interested in.
Wow, that's amazing. It's like having a personalized career counselor right at your fingertips.
Yeah.
But it's not just about certifications.
Right.
There's always more to learn in this field.
Absolutely. The landfill industry is constantly evolving with new technologies and regulations. Staying curious and actively seeking out new information is key to success in this role.
Okay, so we've tackled those tough interview questions, explored career paths, and talked about the importance of continuous learning. What else should someone keep in mind as they prepare for this interview?
Well, beyond the content of your answers, remember to pay attention to your delivery. RoleCatcher's AI can provide feedback on your tone, pacing, and even your body language during mock interviews.
That's so helpful. It's like having a virtual coach guiding you through every step of the process.
Yeah, exactly. And the more you practice, the more confident and comfortable you'll become. Remember, this isn't about memorizing answers. It's about understanding the role and showcasing your skills and passion.
Okay. I'm feeling much more prepared now. We've covered so much ground in this deep dive. It's amazing how much valuable information and support RoleCatcher provides for job seekers.
And speaking of valuable information, let's not forget about the future of landfill management.
The future of landfill management sounds almost futuristic.
It is, and it's something you can discuss in your interview to show your forward thinking. The career guide actually poses a thought-provoking question. As landfills evolve with technology, what innovations could a future landfill supervisor implement to further minimize environmental impact?
Okay, so they're not just looking for someone to manage the landfill of today. They want someone with a vision for the landfill of tomorrow.
Exactly. Think big. We touched on landfill gas extraction, turning a harmful byproduct into an energy source. What other possibilities are there?
Well, the career guide mentioned AI-powered sorting to improve recycling rates. Imagine robots separating materials with incredible speed and accuracy.
And think about using drones for site inspections. That could improve safety and efficiency.
It's almost like landfills could become hubs of innovation, turning waste into valuable resources and helping to create a more sustainable future.
And imagine the impact on the community. A landfill supervisor who embraces sustainable practices and minimizes environmental impact can be a true leader in environmental stewardship.
That's inspiring. It's not just a job, it's a chance to make a real difference.
And remember, RoleCatcher is there to support you every step of the way, from landing that first job to advancing your career and becoming a leader in the field.
So even on Halloween, prepping for your future is a treat, not a trick. Be sure to explore RoleCatcher's career guides, skill guides, interview prep tools, and their incredible AI feedback system.
They have everything you need to turn your passion for waste management into a successful and fulfilling career.
And who knows, maybe someday you'll be the one pioneering those futuristic innovations we talked about. Until next time, happy learning, and best of luck with those interviews.